What up is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads. We have Deshaun Watson getting traded, but if you're new to the channel and you're on this live, we have DeAndre's fifth signed jersey that I would like to give away here soon. Please, guys. We hit 2K. We're going to be giving it away to one of you guys. Deshaun Watson gets a 5-year, $230 million contract. Jeez. 80 more than the previous record for guaranteed money. Yeah, so we're still trying to figure out what is going in return to Houston. If you on this, if you're the one person right now, maybe the multiple people that come on this, and you end up seeing what I'm just keep redoing Twitter, seeing what is going to be given up in return. I'm assuming Baker is going to go to Houston. That would make the most sense. Baker plus two firsts and a second, something along those lines. I could see being the trade. Well, let's just assume that is the trade until otherwise. We're going to assume Baker goes to Houston. Deshaun Watson, of course, 5 years, going to be at a Cleveland Brown, which is really surprising for Cleveland. But Cleveland's been desperate for a quarterback for their entire franchise history. This is a really good move for Cleveland just in general, assuming that Deshaun Watson, who got his charges at one particular junction removed, and then the other, I think they're criminal charges versus other charges. There's two different types of charges. Basically, I think he can still get monetarily sued, but his criminal charges are gone. He's on the commissioner exempt list right now. I do think that we could still see a suspension. It'd be interesting to see him walk away, what we call scot-free, meaning nothing. We saw Calvin Ridley get suspended for an entire year. I could see Deshaun Watson getting 4 to 6 games. In the Dynasty realm of things, though, if it is 4 to 6 games, that's not going to hurt his value. He was a low-end quarterback one. I now just see him he has a team, has Amari Cooper, which is a perfect fit for Amari Cooper. Now, Amari Cooper just went from wide receiver 15 to now he's moving on up into that high teens. Well, he's actually low teens. Now he's up into the high teens. So this is great for Amari Cooper. This is wonderful. We love this. In the franchise tagged Njoku, it is what it is. But I think this is a win for Chubb, a win for Kareem Hunt short term. I think this is a win for definitely Amari Cooper is a huge win. Deshaun Watson, this is definitely a huge win, just getting him to a different team. I assume that him being traded, that Cleveland has done their due diligences, which we hope they did, and that this is another step in the right direction for Deshaun Watson being back on the playing field in 2022. I think it's still going to be a 4 to 6 game suspension. That's what I expect. I think that will happen, and so redraft that might be a little bit trickier, but he is a quarterback that is right into that 6-7 range, probably quarterback 6. I mean, you could argue you have Lamar, you have Dak, you have Deshaun Watson, and so you have that kind of tier. Who would you rather have? Deshaun Watson, of course, younger, has had that ability, but he has that kind of that baggage behind him. So would you rather have Dak Prescott or Deshaun Watson? Would you rather have Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson? There's arguments to be had there, and in fact, previous to all these issues, you could argue that he was ahead of those players, and he was a top 5 quarterback the last couple of years that he had that full season. Has anybody? I'm just gonna reload Twitter here and see what this is for yet. I haven't gotten to see on Twitter what is being in return. I want to see. Just reloading Twitter here and see. Well, that one person put on Twitter, this is why I don't buy jerseys, and it's Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. Sorry, Cleveland, but now you can just erase the Baker and Beckham, and you can go with Cooper and Deshaun Watson. But $230 million guaranteed. I do not see anything. I don't see anything on what the return is, just that Deshaun Watson has decided to play for the Cleveland Browns and waived his entire contract is guaranteed. Yeah, it's $80 million more than as a record, which is, I mean, Cleveland's desperate. They are desperate, and they're going to do everything they possibly can to make Deshaun Watson succeed. They have Kareem Hunt. They have Nick Chubb. Awesome running backs. I think that this will only help their touchdown potential. This offense is going to move in the right direction. They got to keep up with the Ravens. They got to keep up with the Steelers. These are teams that have constantly been dominating them. And so what does this do for Baker? Let's assume that Baker's in this trade and goes to Houston. Houston's lacking right now really weapons. I mean, I think Baker gets stuck into this. Oh, look at somebody else. is doing a YouTube live Dynasty. I follow I subscribe to other Dynasty channels, so I see now, oh, boom, look at, they're doing a live as well. So cool for them. But this is my second live. I did one yesterday because it seems like we have reined in the glory of all this fantasy football changes. Like, oh my goodness, what... We went from, I feel like, a couple, like a month or 2 months of kind of this quiet news to everybody's getting traded. Everyone's on new teams. No one's resigning teams. People are getting traded. And the only person that I feel like has actually stayed on their own teams is like Chris Godwin and Aaron Rodgers. And there's others out there too. But I mean, everybody's either been cut, traded, moved, everything, or released. It's just been nuts out there in the fantasy football. And these are big players' names too. Tom Brady comes back. You have Deshaun Watson. You have, of course, Baker might go to the other side. Then you have, I'm missing a bunch of people. Why can't I think of people off the top? We haven't had any big running backs move yet. So that'll be interesting if we see like a CMC move. And in other news, we'll just talk it very briefly. DJ Moore re-signed. And DJ Moore is that high teens up there in Dynasty. Let me pull up my Dynasty rankings. I have Dynasty rankings. They are on they will be on Patreon here by the end of next week. I have them done. I just need to put them on there because I've been slacking. No, it's just every time I want to do something, I have to make another video. It seems like I've been making videos nonstop. My wife's like, oh, you have to go make another one. I was like, yes, I have to go make another one because people need to know the information, and people... I haven't really seen much information about what was in return yet. So if you see it, put it on there so that I can see it as well. Where are my Dynasty rankings? Gotta reload. I had to reload the page. But Deshaun Watson, again, that there we go. I'll tell you where I had him and where I would move him now. So this is, of course, this is one QB, but we're gonna go and find him. So QB5, Dak. QB6, Lamar. QB7, Trevor Lawrence, and QB8, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson immediately moves ahead of Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence, of course, has not shown it at the NFL level. And you could argue that he is, and I mean, we're talking, the spots are 57, 58, all the way down to 69. You could say that he's moved up at least 10, 11 spots. This is already kind of a pre-ranking of like, we knew that I had him there saying, okay, I know he's going to jump. Actually, Trevor Lawrence, I updated this yesterday, and Trevor Lawrence is already behind Deshaun Watson because Joe Burrow was actually ahead of him. But Deshaun Watson is ahead of Joe Burrow, ahead of Trevor Lawrence, and I would put him ahead of Lamar Jackson. As long as we have a suspension that is clearly defined as not being an entire season, that would hurt him. I'm assuming 4 to 6 games, and if it is 4 to 6 games, I'm going to put him, gosh, I mean, you're talking Deshaun Watson 26.5, and you're talking Dak 28.6. So 2.1 years. I'm still going to take Dak ahead. The reason why Lamar, 25.1 years of age, why I have him both behind Deshaun Watson is injury prone. Schefter tweet on compensation. Well, now, can't you tell me what it is, One World? Like, just tell me what it is. I don't want I don't want to search it. I'm doing the video. Maybe you can put it on here so then you can tell me what the compensation is. That would be very, very nice of you, One World. No, Dad. My dad's now trying to send me a chat. I don't want to talk to you, Dad. Like, I already know. 3 firsts, probably, potentially other picks. Thank you, One World. I like you. Potential other picks. So no Baker. I wonder if this means if there is no Baker, let's put this into the realm of possibilities that Baker is not in the compensation to Houston because Houston maybe believes in Davis Mills. That's fine. Oh my goodness, everyone is messaging me. This is the problem of everyone knowing that you love football and they just gotta be like, oh, Deshaun Watson get traded. Like what happened? And so. Where was I going with? Oh, Baker, the possibility that he is not in that compensation package to Houston, which One World, we're just going to base it off of what you said because you're the only one that has commented based off of the compensation. So we're just going to say that your truth is what it is. And you base it off of Schefter, and we got to believe Schefter 99% of the time. And so Baker, let's just say he doesn't go to Houston. Where are his potential landing spots? Is it Atlanta? Is it Carolina? I really think Carolina is still that they desperately need a quarterback, and I think Carolina is willing to pay up for like a Baker Mayfield. And I think that Baker Mayfield is a decent, okay quarterback. Decent is maybe a bad word. He is a low-end quarterback too in fantasy, and he will get your team up and down the field in a division where you have the Bucs, who are going to be dominant for probably this next year because they just always are, and then you have the Saints, who, I mean, the Saints are always a good team, but I feel like they're going to be a bad team this next year. And then you have Atlanta, who's a bad team, and they're trying to reel and figure out too. So it's really between Carolina, Atlanta. Which team is going to be buying Baker Mayfield? And Baker Mayfield will probably be traded for a minimum of a second-round pick. It's going maybe a second, third, like a Carson Wentz deal. A second, third. I could see a second, third, or a second based off of playing time, very similar to the Carson Wentz Eagles trade, that if he plays 80% of the season snaps, that second turns into a first. I think that when you look at the quarterbacks out there, you have him, you have Garoppolo, who's going to be potentially traded at some point, and then you have Jordan Love. And I would definitely want Baker out of all three. It's tough because Jimmy Garoppolo is such a winner, but you look at you just look at attributes and upside, and you say, well, Jimmy G's upside is very limited. Baker's upside is at least somewhat higher because, he was the first overall pick. Maybe Cleveland used him incorrectly, and he was potentially injured a ton. You have to look at that. There was a period of time, in redraft at least, that he was a top 5 quarterback taken off the board. That was the second year that everyone was going goo goo gaga. And what is still kind of concerning to me when I see some of these rookie quarterbacks that do amazing, even Herbert, who was a quarterback that came out breaking records, and I go, I can't put him in my top 5 because I have that Baker hangover, and I saw what happened to him, and you get sometimes these sophomore slumps, and of course, Herbert showed that he was amazing, and it didn't matter. So again, Deshaun Watson, QB8, he's going to be moving up to QB6, right behind Kyler Murray, right behind Dak Prescott. There's arguments to make that is probably a tier. There's a tier with Allen, Herbert, and Mahomes. They're not going to be touchable. Depending on, let's just say let's go best case and worst case scenario. Best case scenario, he doesn't get suspended. I still think he's in that tier. Worst case, he gets suspended for an entire year, and then he kind of falls back into, I believe, that Joe Burrow area. So it would be probably like Joe Burrow, if Watson was suspended the entire year, then you'd have Burrow, Watson, Lawrence. And I still believe in Trevor Lawrence. I feel like that situation was a complete crap show. And Trevor Lawrence is the difference between him and Baker. Baker had attributes of that he could be slightly mobile, but Trevor Lawrence is a athletic, like 6'6", 240 pounds. First name's William, if you guys didn't know. William Trevor Lawrence, and I feel like you can see that he actually can run and be mobile. He has the ability and the skill set to be the next Herbert. He just needs to find a better situation. Like that situation needs to be better around him. They seem like they are spending a crap ton of money. They're that Fab team. I saw a joke, and I'm just gonna use the joke because whatever. I'm gonna steal it, plagiarize it. That they're that Fab team that after about 10 minutes they have like $1 left, or maybe they have $1 per position left. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're just buying everything, and so we'll see what exactly happens with that. With that team, I think they're going to have a better year. And they're in a bad division, too. Houston, now they don't have Deshaun Watson for sure, but they have a bunch of 3 firsts, I think is what is being recorded. Let me update that Twitter sphere and see what... I bet Baker now is really wanting to trade. I would too if I was him. If you're new to the channel, if you're one of the 7 that are listening to this, Patreon, I'm going to be putting Dynasty rookie rankings, 1 QB, Superflex, and regular just Dynasty rankings. And then, I'm trying to think what else I need to say. Tomorrow's video will be, which was supposed to be today's video, but it's going to be tomorrow now. I'm posting tomorrow. Top 3 free agent winners and losers. Trying to think if I need to change any of them. I already recorded the video, so thank goodness I did not put Cooper as a loser. I didn't think Cooper was a loser, but now you could arguably say that he was probably a winner. So I'm gonna have to put like a little disclaimer there that he's a winner. Come on, let's see. Breaking news. Yeah, they're finally coming out, but what? Nothing. I don't see anything. I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time to actually. It says, I hope Baker. Yeah, it seems like people are saying that hope that Baker ends up somewhere great, which means that Baker probably wasn't a part of the package, which is very interesting. I'm surprised they didn't ask for 3 firsts and Baker. I think that would have been a good move for Houston. Have Baker, have Davis Mills, and then take your 3 picks and use them for the rest of the other team. Use them for defense, offense. They need a whole crap load of stuff. They've traded so many picks away. I don't even know if they have their first this year, but if they do, that would have been 4 firsts that they would have had in the next 3 years, I would assume. Well, actually, no, more than that. They'd have 6 firsts in the next 3 years. But anyways, so Deshaun Watson, we're going to kind of do a conclude for this. Deshaun Watson moves up a couple spots. I already had him predicted that he was coming back this year. In Superflex, what is he worth? He is worth what Dak Prescott's worth. He's worth what Lamar Jackson's worth, which is you're probably talking 2.5, 3 firsts, which is a lot. It's a lot to give up. But Deshaun Watson, what did I say, 26.5 years old exactly, somewhere around there, 26.5. Let me see. Where are you? 26.5. So 26.5 years exactly. In 1 QB leagues, your QB 6, 7, 8 is worth a first, but nothing worth crazy. I would say he's worth probably a first and like a later second. I value the top end quarterbacks in 1 QB leagues, but not when we start getting even further. I guess Deshaun Watson's probably worth a first and a second, easily, I should say. Because I look at the players I have around him, and you have Michael Carter, you have Kareem Hunt, you got Zeke, and he's worth more than those. He's worth more than those players in a 1 QB format. But that's why we're gonna have the Dynasty rankings on Patreon. So I hope you enjoyed this another live video. Peace out. Take care. We'll see where Baker goes, and maybe I'll do another live video. All right. Take care.